Hey Dylan, thanks for taking my call.
Hey Dylan, big fan of the show.
Huge fan of the show, love what you're doing.
Such a big fan of the show. I'm so glad to have a minute of your time.
Hi, Dylan. It's Gavin.
Dude, Dylan.
Look, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. It's not hard to understand, okay? So here's my thought. You would be crazy to think that. Welcome to the Dylan Murray Network.
Welcome.
I'm your host, Dylan. I'm here. Very special episode. Very special.
So special.
Dude, I'm really excited about this because I haven't been recording a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when things come up, I get excited. And then I, like Survivor, boom, I'm going to jump. I love Batman. I loved it. Boom, I want to jump on it. And my friend JJ here, JJ.
Hello.
This is JJ.
How are you?
Carol, my former almost roommate.
Yeah, almost happened.
Yeah, it really was.
It
was a good first. I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, it was good vibes.
Yeah, when we met, I
vibes.
was like, I like the way you look at me, but like I also feel safe.
Right.
And you're big, but
not like
yeah,
scary big.
But just life. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
Wasn't. It was you. But no. So you. Well, that's how we met.
Yes.
And I followed you at that time, and we stayed in touch. We had a family friend connect or whatever. Yeah. And you post funny videos a lot.
Thank
you. Some of them are funny.
Yeah, some of them. I would say about 30% are funny.
Yeah, 30.
The other 70%
sure.
is like, really?
No, but genuinely, you make me laugh. And it you posted one video where because you do this thing where either you're making fun of pastors or influencers. So you take your pick every once in a while. And you picked influencers here or this style of TikTok where you were trying to hypnotize people.
Right.
And it was all headed towards Shrek. You had onions, green,
ogre,
your shirt.
My shirt. I was
which
wearing a
I
Shrek
actually
shirt.
you weren't obvious about the shirt. I'll be honest. You didn't really open up. I didn't see, but I saw it and I felt like, oh, I see it. I saw
Thank
it.
you.
So that was really actually well done.
Thank you.
You're a master of your craft. And everything was pointed toward Shrek. And then you said Wild Hogs.
Yep. The classic adventure comedy Wild Hogs starring Tim Allen.
It's one of those movies. How old are you?
I'm 29.
29. I'm 27. So same ballpark. This movie came out in 2007.
Yes.
Wild Hogs. I'm so curious what your relationship is to it because it is forever a reference now. It's not like a movie that people watch.
Yeah, no,
people don't watch this movie. Maybe they do. I did. I enjoyed it. But do you remember seeing it? Why did you see it?
I do. So, I mean, I've been obsessed with movies ever since I was a kid. That's why I even moved out here. Grew up in Montana. And I was always obsessed with comedy, so I saw any comedy that ever came out. And oh gosh, how old was I then?
2007.
2007. I would have been 15, 16. I don't know. So I was in that area where it was my parents were pretty strict. Yeah. So it's I think I was 15. My parents wouldn't quite let me see R-rated movies. I would sneak them here and there, but so it's the PG-13 comedy was
that was one where wait, that's PG. We can see it.
I can see it.
I can see it.
I'm in. So I remember going to theater, seeing Wild Hogs. I loved it. I laughed so hard. And then I remember when it came out on DVD, I went and I convinced my dad somehow to buy the movie on DVD, the day that it came out from a grocery store.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe one of the bins or
And it was and I remember him being so pissed because we took it back home and put it in the DVD player and it was widescreen and we had a tiny TV.
Yeah, that was an issue.
And it was always an issue. He's like, oh, why isn't this the full screen version? I just remember I had this sinking feeling God. Now my dad's pissed. He's never gonna buy a DVD again. And I watched it a bunch.
That widescreen that's no longer in it. We don't suffer from widescreen.
And now we
remember
suffer.
They had the discs that you could flip.
Yeah, full screen and widescreen. Now it's if you have the. Well, I mean, I don't even have I have a massive DVD Blu-ray collection. Yeah. I don't even touch any of them.
No, yeah.
But even though the old ones, if you look it's the full screen version, now it's this sucks.
Full screen. Yeah, you're just
it's all squished.
But when you saw the movie, you liked it.
Love it.
This was a funny movie. I remember my grandparents took me, which this is a. Grandparents would love this movie.
Of course.
They've seen these actors before.
Yep.
They because you got, but they took me and I was 12 And yeah, I was 12. So when this movie came out, so I wasn't a 13-year-old. So this had to have been a time where I was like getting to do things that I normally couldn't. And
real quick question: did you ever have to like look up the content and screen it
Not
or plugged in
screen it.
online?
I actually didn't use the sites. We would do the newspaper, and it would always say rated R for. And my mom would be like, "What are like the first 3 things?" It says? Because like you know by 3.
You know
like
by 3.
Violence, sexual. Like I remember it'd be like sexual themes and then sexual content. You're like, wait,
it's
is
like,
themes
themes is okay?
Themes is
but then
fine.
if it's like graphic anything, it's like nope.
Graphic
And
violence,
pervasive was like no, there's no way I can see that.
And language, you always were like, well, language. It's PG. That's why it's PG-13.
Yeah.
You forget that one.
Yeah, I had to go on to screenit.com, and it would have like all the categories like sex, gore, jump scares, profanity, and then you would like read about like all the stuff that's in it. And I remember
it's
like
spoiled sometimes too.
It's spoiled, but like even like the profanity, it's like 54 uses of the F word, some with mother before, some and all this stuff. And I remember I was actually like reading this stuff. And I'm like, it's just as bad that I'm going and I'm like reading about all these sex scenes or all the all the like profanity because it's playing out in my head.
Yeah, that's
just silly.
That was definitely like, and so this was that age where I'm like, this is where I get to break the rules a little bit. You know, they cuss, they say ass, they say ass. You know,
sometimes they add hole at the end.
Yeah, and I just remember like feeling like I don't belong in this movie, and I didn't get most of the jokes. I think even so I rewatched it, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I messaged you. I was like, we need to talk about this movie, and I'll provide the platform. Let's do it. And I was like, like even rewatching it, I was like, dude, there were things I don't remember laughing at this because I didn't get that.
Yeah.
But that's funny. But I remember seeing it, loving it, because it's a lot of physical humor too. So like when you're young, I'm 12, like Dumb and Dumber for me is
fantastic.
That's the greatest comedy of all time. You know, and I know
mine's What About Bob? I'm wearing the shirt. Don't hassle me. I'm local.
It's classic.
It's great.
I got to see it.
You do.
I do. But this was like that time, and then I remember getting the DVD, and it was for probably a couple of years, one of our like 5 rotations of comedies.
Yeah.
DVDs like what do we got?
Yeah.
All right, let's throw on Wild Hogs again. That's easy. So I feel like I've seen it a million times in a weird way, but like, it's just suddenly so random.
Yeah, I always it's one of those movies that like I loved when I was that age, and then I think once I hit like 17 pretty much and started watching like all these like R-rated comedies,
and even like streaming services started to pick up around then too.
And it just kind of felt like Wild Hogs is like kind of lame, but at the same time I'm like, well, it's not lame because I still love it. But then it just became like kind of this. Kind of like almost like a joke and like a meme in itself, like where it's like, oh yeah, that guy loves Wild Hog. I don't know, like it's just such a funny name too.
And I literally, my brain's all those chemicals fired off the second you said Wild Hogs. Like I don't know, like I was like, I was shaking. I was like, what is going on? How did he just say Wild Hog?
I was trying to think, okay, what's a reference that is like, that would
and I'm sure like you're kicking around probably 3 references. You're like, I could go
one of them. Let's see if this does anything for you. Osmosis Jones.
Yeah. Osmosis.
It's like
Jones,
but I don't know if it's as funny.
No,
I feel like it's a little more. It's a little more forced. Where it's like, Osmosis Jones is like it's almost like the fact that it's like you go like too random and like really like what is like half people are what is that? Wild Hogs is like kind of I felt like fell in the middle ground. Another one I was going to do is Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire. But I thought that could be taken.
Here, Osmosis Jones also was like back on Twitter like a year and a half ago, when the pandemic started. People were like posting Osmosis Jones stuff. And I just feel like I haven't heard a thing about Wild Hogs since 2010.
Right.
You know? And so I think you also nailed it. That's like when you pick a karaoke song. Like you want to pick one that the first 3 seconds, people are going, wait. Yes. Like you want that.
What's your go-to?
I like Iris. Iris is my, and you got that other chord, opens up, and people are just going, wait. This is definitely 2000 song. Oh, good.
Yeah.
And the hard part about that one is there's just a long instrumental.
Yeah.
But I like to talk to that's my crowd work.
That's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
I like to inspire because that music is inspiring.
It really is,
Iris is good. I mean, Mr. Brightside, if I feel like I need to please the crowd.
It's a classic.
It's played every time you go.
Classic.
Every time I go and I don't do it, someone else does.
Of course.
And then I don't want to miss a thing. Those are the 3. I try to branch out here and there, but
Solid.
What about you?
Used to be like I Want It That Way and Bye Bye Bye, but then 5 years ago they killed. Now it's like it's done too much now. It's like, okay, that's a bit that's done. Have really wanted to. I haven't done karaoke in a while, but I've really wanted to go up and do the cha-cha slide.
Oh wow, that would be unique.
If
a guy got up there and did cha-cha slide, I would laugh
because it's like
this is insane.
It's like 6 minutes long.
Yeah, it is so long, and it's just you'd be reading the command
exactly. And
to
I
the
thought,
left now, y'all.
I thought about like even just going like very just like one hop this time. One hop this time. And so
yeah, dude, that'd be funny. And like, so you said Wild Hogs.
Yes.
I was like, dude, we gotta talk about it.
Got to.
For our viewers who haven't seen Wild Hogs, okay, I wrote a little synopsis here.
Okay.
I wrote one myself. I did quite a bit of research.
Jeez.
I had some time to kill. I have some reviews here.
All right. So so TMZ, do they know what you're doing during the
well, we're gonna bleep that. Okay, ready? Middle-aged men from Ohio. This is again. I just 3 sentences or less.
Great.
Middle-aged men from Ohio try to recapture their youth in the only way they know how. Ditch their wives and head on a motorcycle trip. And of course, hijinks ensues as they run into an actual biker gang. And they have to attempt to save a small New Mexico town on the way to the West Coast. Did I miss anything?
No, I think
fair.
that's actually like that's pretty thorough.
Thank
like
you.
within
and
3 sentences.
I guess I would also say I could have tied in semi-legendary actors.
Yeah. At the time, I felt like they were almost like all like kind of legendary status.
Yeah. They used the word all 90s people. Okay, so we got John Travolta.
And then they did Old Dogs and it tanked.
Right, yes. I have all that. I have all that too.
Perfect.
I have John Travolta, of course, from Pulp Fiction. Tim Allen, 90s. Martin Lawrence. William H. Macy. Marissa Tomei, who's probably stock has gone up. Since
yes, 100%.
And Ray Liotta, which...
Fantastic.
I have a lot to say about Ray Liotta.
He's a
this movie.
Great guy.
I have a lot to say. But did you rewatch it? You rewatched it?
I did. I rewatched most of it.
I
found a janky stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to pay $5 to rent it right now.
I did. I spent the $3.99 or whatever. Wow. Yeah. This movie was unique because like it kind of felt grown-ups-y where it's like these guys are in their FU stage where they have so much money. Hopefully, maybe they didn't, or I don't know. And they're like, "What should we do for a movie?"
Right.
It's like, well, we can do whatever. What if we like? You guys want to do motorcycle? Like, because John Travolta's like, he's like an extreme. Like he flies planes and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't John Travolta kind of go bankrupt like kind of after this?
Which
like,
is funny
area,
and that's like this is his character also. Like a struggling like Hollywood agent or something like that, or
very fitting
high up. It was so funny. They tried to like this movie was clearly a dad movie, like aimed at like middle-aged men who are all like one stuck in his career, one's like looking for excitement, his kid is doubting him. Yeah,
well the other one's just trying to do his job and trying to like make something of himself, and his wife's the breadwinner, and it really hits on every facet, and I think that's one reason that my dad liked it. He thought it was so funny because it like did kind of it's that generation. It's
a cool hour 40, which is maybe the best.
I think that's
length of a movie,
especially for a comedy.
I actually got Three Amigos vibes from this movie.
I've actually never seen Three Amigos.
Okay, so Three Amigos. I mean, they like
Steve Martin, right?
Steve Martin, like this, like for me to
Martin
say
Short.
Three Amigos, people would probably like shoot.
Yeah.
Saying, like to even mention those two in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Three Amigos is like amazing, and it is like goofball guys who stumble into a dangerous situation and have to get out. Except this one, like, less so.
Yeah,
I still laughed at some parts, and I definitely was like, man, where's Martin Lawrence? Like, like this guy was like. Because this was also the era like Daddy Daycare and RV and like these big comedy guys were trying to like cash in on these like family movies.
Right,
it was a Disney movie technically, was
it really?
Yeah, like Disney.
Oh, was this like Buena Vista or?
Yeah. So I also read today that the Hell's Angels filed a lawsuit against
Wild
Hogs against Disney for like likeness issues because the patch, because the energy, and probably from the gang, which I gotta say, dude. The Del Fuegos is the dopest name.
That it really is.
Like, I understand who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a bunch of white dudes with the name
100%.
Double Amigos. Yeah. Like, fascinating movie. My thing about Ray Liotta is I don't think he understood what movie he got signed up for. Like, I really think someone told him this was like this is a drama.
This is
like this
intense,
is a because he gives
action. Yeah,
he is scary. Like, he is in a different movie.
You know what's funny is I remember when I first saw it, like I didn't really know like who Ray Liotta was because I hadn't seen him in a ton at the time when I was 14, 15. And I was just like, gosh, why is this guy like this guy's like so intense? Like, and I thought he was like almost like over. I remember as a kid like thinking like he was overdoing it.
Yeah.
But then now I'm like, oh yeah, he was just like really into like being the villain. And
he was most certainly in a different movie. But like he was so good.
Yeah. And
then like they have the final scene with his like dad, and then they do the extreme makeover credits thing. Dude, like. That was like when bloopers would be on and like really silly little endings. That was a funny one.
Yeah.
And Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Yeah, with Ty Pennington.
But Wild Hogs, it's like, so here's what some reviews said. Okay, check this out. Because do you know what it got on Rotten Tomatoes?
I want to say like a 38.
14.
14. Okay, I was way off.
Audience score 61, which
that's
technically is pretty positive.
Yeah.
So I took some British people who watched this movie and reviewed it.
Okay.
And I thought
great.
Their perspective might be the best for this.
Probably.
Someone said from BBC they called this movie soulless, boring, formulaic, and utterly convinced that its audience won't care. I kind of didn't care. I guess that's a good point.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair review.
The UK Times says, a humiliating medley of ghastly slapstick stunts. Walt Becker is an author of this nonsense and he ought to be sued. Which is the director, Walt Becker.
Also, his first movie was Van Wilder.
Yes, I did.
I saw that and I was like, oh, that's really interesting.
And his next movie is Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Clifford.
What?
Yeah.
And yes, there was with Wild Hogs, they did Old Dogs.
Uh-huh.
And they had a sequel for Wild Hogs. Here was the name for it.
They had a sequel?
Yeah, and a sequel was pitched, but because Old Dogs did so bad, they tanked a one Robin Williams sequel, and then Wild Hogs 2 Bachelor Ride.
Wow.
Wild Hogs 2 Bachelor Ride, which must be kids getting married, or someone's divorced.
Oh yeah.
And they're all like, "We're bachelors." Then it gets sad. Like it's
gotta
be positive.
I really wish that like some of these movies that you could like find the script for it.
Yeah.
Like just somebody's like, "Hey, here you go."
Dude, and who knows like how many like just scripts they just were like, "Oh shoot, let's get one about like bikers real quick cuz these guys want to be in a biker movie."
I can't pull it up. I don't have any service.
No, you're good. But this also came out the same week as Zodiac.
So
that means people went to the theater that weekend and went, do I want to watch a David Fincher drama about the Zodiac Killer?
Or Wild Hogs.
Or Wild Hogs.
Hear me out here.
Wild Hogs.
Man. I was thinking about this, how the fact, like, those big budget comedies, like those big, like, high concept kind of comedies, I feel like they don't really happen anymore.
No.
Like, you don't really see any of these, like, a bunch of big actors like getting together for a big comedy because I feel like I don't know if they don't make as much money or if they're all just going to streamers or if there's so much of them are just doing like TV now.
Yeah, and like I don't know who's tuning in. Like I feel like Netflix tries a little bit with like some Adam Sandler stuff. Like the Workaholics guys have a movie and stuff like that. But like in recent, it's like Game Night was the last one. Yeah, that was like a
fantastic
big actor. And dude, awesome.
Like
movie.
Loved it. But I feel like even that one, like that one is like more of an action comedy than it is like
that's true. They had to do more
like kind of like a straight comedy. I mean, The Lost City. Did you see that one? Just came out. Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum.
Oh no, was it?
It was okay. I mean, first act fantastic. Kind of lost a little bit in the second, and the end was pretty good. But like those big budget comedies, I was looking up. Would you consider the Proposal one like Sandra Bullock? It's more of a rom-com,
right? Yeah, but see, you had to add more. You had to add rom.
I was looking at like 2000 because I remember for me, I think 2008 is like one of the best years of comedy because that's like Pineapple Express, Step Brothers,
Yeah.
Role Models,
Superbad,
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So Superbad was 2007, and so I looked at 2007. I was like, what other movies came out? Superbad, Heartbreak Kid, Knocked Up, Balls
Dark
of
Knight,
Fury,
right?
Norbit. Well, I mean in comedies.
Comedies. Oh, Norbit.
Blades of Glory. Norbit's
Yes.
a classic.
Norbit is Norbit, dude, that would be another one. That would be.
I started to watch Norbit again. That was actually another reference I was going to use, but I was like, nobody will get that. But I started to watch Norbit again. It does not hold up even in the slightest. I was like, this is just
And this
bad and offensive.
This one really, it had like some gay panic, but
There was a lot. I was like, there's like really they could not do this today.
And I think and I definitely would understand, and I think there's actually probably still an audience for that type of humor, unfortunately. But like also, it just like it did fit, like I would assume those guys would do that and act that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was like Blades of Glory is another one that.
Fantastic.
I feel like I watched that one recently. That's a really underrated Will Ferrell movie.
That's my favorite Will Ferrell movie.
Really,
Chaz Michael Michaels is like my favorite character.
Yeah,
I think he's so funny. And then I mean I was a big Napoleon Dynamite fan, so seeing John Heder in something too, like
yeah, I saw on gosh, yeah, you're right. This was like a big comedy thing because I saw it said if you liked Wild Hogs, you would like. And it was another low reviewed, high audience movie, Hot Rod.
Hot Rod was 07.
Yeah, Hot Rod is like, I saw that again. I'm like, dude, how have I forgotten that movie? Like we quoted every single
all the
day.
time.
Like, and Andy Samberg was coming out with those videos like once every couple weeks.
Yeah.
Lonely Island was forming. Like, yeah, dude.
Hot Rod was one that didn't really find its audience until like after the theaters.
Yeah,
like is when it really kind of became big. Like,
and I remember seeing it in theater. I mean, like this is
I saw
like,
opening night.
Really
Loved it.
It was funny, but then I remember like I went to a movie night or something, or someone was quoting it and watching it a bunch, and then we all caught on to it. Because like Pop Star, that was 2015. That's a pretty like
fantastic.
Did you ever see Blockers?
I did see Blockers.
I am a huge advocate for Blockers. Like I thought Blockers was so funny because John Cena's just wearing cargo shorts and bulking around like was so funny, and I love like coming of age, like, and so the angle that they were at of like girls trying to lose their virginity, like I'm like we'd never seen that.
I liked the flip a lot. It was Leslie Mann's in that, right? Leslie Mann. I remember like because that one kind of fell right in the middle, right? It was like okay, so. But I remember really enjoying it and thinking it was really funny. Yeah. But I think it was kind of in that era when the big budget comedies were kind of going out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like when you think about it, in the last couple of years, the times you've maybe laughed the most is like at the Avengers when like everyone laughs at like or like like Tony Stark has said something in the theater laughs like you're not going to theaters anymore and hearing roars of laughter anymore. It's weird. These old guys like getting back on the hall who seemed to phone it in the most? You think it was Tim Allen? Because I was looking at Tim Allen like
I kind of felt like it was probably Tim Allen and John Travolta. I felt like it
they were trading off.
They were trading off because like there were some scenes where it's like okay, John Travolta is like he's really in it, he's really going for it, and then there's other times when it's just like they just seem to not care. My favorite part of William H. Macy, I think. Yeah. He's
another one. He's done great the last 10 years.
Fantastic. Like, and Shameless. I don't know. I feel like he had just so many good moments and so many good.
Have you seen Mystery Men?
Yes.
That is William H. Macy.
At his finest. Ben Stiller.
The height of his powers.
Oh my gosh.
Ben Stiller. Yeah, they're like weird superheroes. Yeah. I think Kel from Kenan and Kel is in that one too.
Kel Mitchell.
Pee Wee Herman's in that one. Dude, yeah, that was like one of 4 or 5 movies that were like on rotation in my family. They were like weird. Then I'm like, we love That Thing You Do.
Classic.
Oh my god,
classic.
Love
movie.
That Thing You Do.
Yes, I sang that song for a middle school talent show once.
That's sick.
And I dedicated it to a girl that had rejected me, and I didn't really say, like, everybody kind of knew, and I just saw her like sink in her seat as I was singing it. I was like, yeah, maybe this was a bad idea, but
That's
great song.
Power of movies. Okay, so wait, how about 80s movies? Like, how do you do with like, if I say 80s movies, what movies do you say like, oh, I like?
Breakfast Club.
Okay.
I mean, Breakfast Club's amazing.
Favorite movie of all time.
That's your favorite movie
all time?
It's fantastic.
That's it.
I should have worn that.
Have you seen Back to the Future?
Yeah, I actually just saw those for the first time a couple of years ago.
Really? What's that like? Because I'm sure there was a lot of pressure to see them.
Yeah, well, I
like just in general, or like
everybody was always like, "Oh, you haven't seen those? Oh, you haven't seen?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, like I just never did." But I mean, I loved them. I thought they were all three like fantastic. I also had never seen like crazy, and I had never seen Bill and Ted.
Okay, yeah, so I hadn't seen that either.
I watched like the two of them before the new one, and I was like, how did I miss these? Because
I would have loved these as a kid. I felt that too. Yeah. I was like, yeah, if I saw.
But I hated Keanu Reeves.
Oh, really?
I could not stand, like, as a kid, I could not stand him because I remember seeing Hardball, and I remember thinking his performance in Hardball was just, I was like, this guy is like not a good actor.
I remember him in Speed, and he scared me.
Yeah, I was just like, he's just, yeah, wow. Like, I just remember him being like, I think like somebody died, and he's just like, damn, but then. Like, I see him in Bill and Ted. I'm like, he's perfect in like all of those. He's perfect in The Matrix. I mean, John Wick. John Wick is when I was like, okay, I'm a Keanu fan now. I'm a Keanu fan.
John Wick made me go like, I think I like action movies. Like, John Wick is so sick, and like they've gotten crazier and crazier, but like it works for me.
It does, because
it's a story about a guy his dog got killed, and that's why he's angry,
and he's unkillable.
You killed the wrong guy's dog. What did you? Like, another one is School of Rock. Was that like
great movie?
Because like that one is like a comedy, but like also touching. And that was, I think it was 6. The same kind of
06 or 05. Yeah, I felt that one was like that was like kind of like a perfect, because there's some, as I've rewatched like kind of some of these old like PG-13 comedies, like you'll see some of them are just like play like really down and like really kind of cheesy. Yeah. But there's those that like School of Rock that like really, really holds up.
Gosh, yeah.
And I feel like for me, all of Will Ferrell's do. I mean, Will Ferrell's my hero. But
like when you think about, because you're an actor, you're in comedy. Like, who are like? Do you feel yourself emulate like these people sometimes? Like, even like like because you watch Will Ferrell do characters.
People like friends growing up always like. I mean, he was like my hero. He's my favorite, and so a lot of the stuff that like. How I act like was inspired kind of by that, and kind of it was even just kind of tried to find my own way and own spins, and like I just think as the more you, I don't know, the more you start acting, the more you do it, there's more you really just kind of find your own voice. Within, like, it's like a mix of stuff. I've also gotten like Jason Bateman, like I really like kind of like the I don't know, just I
see with like the soft spoken
a little bit like soft spoken is kind of like the okay, great, it's cool. I love Jason Bateman.
Yeah, Will Ferrell, like he's been I feel like he's been swell the past. People were mixed on that one he did with Rachel McAdams, the like music competition one.
Oh, Eurovision.
I heard that. Like,
I loved Eurovision.
Okay,
it was
I remember
amazing.
When it came out, there was like people were just talking about Eurovision.
Yeah.
And I was like, a Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, that was like the first, I think it came out 2020, right? June of the pandemic. It was like, all right, here we go. Here you go. Here's your something for everybody to watch. I was so bummed because technically he was nominated for an Oscar for because Eurovision, one of the songs was nominated for Best Song, and I was so looking forward to the moment where because at the Oscars, all the songs, they have everybody come and perform them.
Oh my god!
And I was like, oh my gosh, Will Ferrell's going to perform at the Oscars, and he's just kind of doing the back, ha ha, it's just like stupid stuff, and they didn't do it. I was so pissed. It didn't win, but
I think because I feel like my friends and I figured it out once that it was right after The Other Guys is where it The Other Guys might have been the last 2010, 11 ish.
Yeah,
was The Other Guys to me is
fantastic.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's Will Ferrell that makes that movie super hilarious, but I just love that.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think Will Ferrell is is Ricky Bobby.
Oh, of course.
He's
Ricky Bobby and Ron Burgundy.
Anchorman for me.
Yeah.
I love Anchorman. It's funny, but it's Ricky Bobby
Yeah.
is unreal.
Yeah.
And what I think, like when I think NASCAR, I think Ricky Bobby.
Mhm.
Like that's
Of
insane.
course.
Like
That
think
movie
basketball,
has so much staying power. What do
Yeah.
you think of basketball?
yeah, you think Michael Jordan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Golf, Tiger Woods.
I think Jackie Moon when I think of basketball.
Jackie. See, semi-pro. Semi-pro was one when I saw it at a young age. I was like, I don't get this. And then
Yeah.
you see it later.
And it's
that
like,
hit
oh, okay,
better
I get
later.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I dressed up as him. As
Yeah.
Jackie Moon.
I have a
But-
Jackie Moon jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then Kicking and Screaming, dude,
Underrated.
very, very good.
That movie is so funny. But yeah,
That's another one. So I volunteer and I coach basketball,
Uh-huh.
and like my friends, every time he asks me like about my game, he's like, "Did you pass the Italians?"
Yeah.
I'm like, we do have some Italians
Yeah.
on our team.
Yeah.
Actually,
Do you
we
have
make sure
the,
to get them the ball.
Do you have the tracksuit?
I would love to. I would like every time I'm out there. I'm just
Yeah.
like I'm thinking about
I tried to find that tracksuit, but I couldn't.
Buck Weston.
I could not find the actual one.
And he discovers coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
It's just
the kids. Like that's
Great.
another one that like I think I start to feel like my age coming on of like, oh, it's not like when I was like, 'cause I'm
Right.
starting to feel that.
yeah.
And one of them is like they don't make any like kids sports movies anymore. Like, because growing up, I loved the Mighty
Yeah.
Ducks, the Sandlot,
Giants.
which were not, Little Giants.
Mhm.
It felt like there was always Rebound, Martin Lawrence, right?
Oh yeah.
Like there were these movies that were like
Mhm.
sports, and then they don't even do that anymore. Even like a Coach Carter, which is more intense.
Right.
But like I adored those sports movies because it was like I could laugh at Will Ferrell, but then
Yeah.
like those kids look like I want to
Yeah.
be
So
friends with them.
I always so badly was like, I wish I could get cast in that, and then I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not even. I live in Montana. There's no way I'm gonna get cast in anything like
Wait,
this.
so when you made the leap from Montana to LA,
Yeah.
or were you
Yeah.
college before?
Well,
Or-
I made the leap out here for
For
college.
college.
Yeah, for
And
film
did you
school.
see that as like a gateway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I went to a school in La Mirada, and I thought that like in my head, I remember like mapping it. Like, how close am I to Hollywood? It's like, oh, 26 miles. In Montana,
Classic.
26 miles, it means like it's going to take you like 26 to 30 minutes to get
Same.
there. And I was just like,
Arizona.
sick. I'm going to go there all the time. I'm going to go to Hollywood, be bumping elbows with the stars, and it'll be easy. And then I'm like, oh, it takes 2 hours to get there. This sucks. So
Yeah, and
it
then
was culture shock.
you graduated,
And I graduated.
and then it was just like time to.
And then, I was trying to get into film, and then was going to move to LA, and then didn't really happen. And then church job just kind of slapped me in the face, and did that for a while, and then finally moved up, just
It's
in
like, time to go.
September. Yeah,
Unload the tank.
yeah,
Yeah, that was like it was cool like hearing that when we first met. 'Cause
Mhm.
it like what's it been like, because like we're in an industry where like you set morals aside a bit, sometimes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like we come from a background where it's like
right,
morals are everything.
right,
Is that like I've felt in my year 3 that I've become like a little more numb to it.
Mhm.
Like, and it's like as you become so busy, it's hard to balance.
yeah,
But I don't know, because like that's something I wrestle with all the time. of just,
Totally.
like that's something I wrestle with.
yeah. So just
If I can
being
be transparent,
just,
right
yeah,
now.
vulnerable. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I mean, it's hard because, and I think I went to a Christian college, and so it's like even that my college experience was like relatively sheltered in a sense. And I actually just did this short film with Chapman University, and went to the like screening of it the other night, and I was like, man, the difference between like my college film school experience at Biola to this is like it's just so different. And I mean, I loved like the whole Chapman experience. I mean, I think those kids are like, operating on another level anyways too, but I think about that like whole moral thing all the time, because like for me it's like, yeah, I still am a Christian, I still believe. But I think a lot of it, like some of the things I feel like that I used to almost like judge people for, like when in like high school, I'm like, why did I even do that? Like it's just kind of silly. And so it's just more so it's just like I just want to, you know, more so just show like my faith, if you will, like through just the way that I treat people. Yeah. You know.
Cuz it's like I mean, if you become like a, you know, a salesperson somewhere, you know, it's like, oh, that's your thing, you do sales. But like being so out there and being in comedy where like, but then you see some dudes who like a John Christ who, you know, puts himself in a category. Totally. But then that category holds him to those standards.
Right.
And then he goes away for a little while. Then he's back. Yeah. And it's like.
He's killing it.
Yeah, he's killing it. Him and Trey Kennedy.
Yeah, Trey Kennedy's fantastic.
Yeah. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you feel like you found your lane doing those kinds of things because you're clearly good at it. You're like you hit on the thing where I'm like, if you went to these churches, you're laughing at this because it's like he noticed these things, and I've even seen these things done before. Right. Where like, you know, you like pastors, right, like, but like you hit a different nail, especially like I like Judah Smith, and I'm like, dude,
love Judah Smith.
You did. Yeah. It's like, I saw him riding bikes.
Oh, you did? Yeah, he's living out here, right?
Yeah. I saw him.
Yeah. It's funny because I mean I've tried like really hard to not. I don't want to like get in kind of like the, I don't know, that like the faith-based comedy world, because I don't know but I think like it is. Obviously, it's a part of my upbringing, and I think like with comedy, like some of the best stuff is the stuff that's like really true to you and your own experiences. And so, having worked in the megachurch for years, like I've seen some of these things like at conferences and stuff. And I'm like, this is weird, but everybody's like seems to be okay with it. Like this guy up here, he's preaching a sermon, but really he's just giving like tweetable quotes that have like nothing. Like it's more of like a self-help thing. And he's like,
you walk away and you go, so what did he? Yeah, what did he say?
What did he say? He didn't open his Bible once. Like, and then I'm just like, that reference. That's such a stretch. Like.
I've thought about one recently because I actually when I worked for a church, I was big into those sayings.
Oh, of course.
I was big into the like, be the person you're looking for is looking for. You know what I mean? Like, or like if you see a therefore, you have to ask yourself, what's it there for?
Yeah.
Like things like that. And I thought of one. I wish I could think of it now, but I remember I thought of it like recently, and I was like, oh wow. And I like thought about it, and I was like, wait a second. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And it was, I wish I could think of it. But I don't know. It's definitely a
silly
funny niche that you see.
And so I always try to think of like, okay, what's the most outlandish like object? Okay, I'm going to take that object and I'm going to somehow tie it into Jesus or something or faith because I'm like, I've seen it happen so many times. Like
the most random things.
Just like. I was eating a hot dog the other day at the ballpark, and you know, it made me think of God's grace. I was like, oh, did it? Yeah. Did it really? Okay, you know, or were you just like, oh shoot, I gotta write a sermon. What did I do this week? Oh, I went to the baseball game. Okay, yeah, just slap some Jesus on that. Dude, I thought it was very silly.
I remember like feeling like pretty intense culture shock because like, especially like you go from like working it, which is like spending 50, 40, 80 hours a week.
100%.
In this environment and in this bubble that is really good and can be really awesome. And then, but then you step outside of it. And I remember like I was taking like comedy classes.
Oh yeah.
In New York, and I was just meeting people who had like different sexualities than I was used to.
Yeah.
And different like drugs and like all these things that were just like normal bells that go off in your head. Right. And I remember like going home that night just thinking like, dude, I feel so gross that like that's unfamiliar to me. Like, I've just been sheltered for so long.
Totally.
And yeah, like it's cool to see how far I've come from there, but it's definitely like it's interesting to see some of these. Some of these like people like are you familiar with Pete Holmes pretty well?
Oh yeah.
Like did you watch Crashing?
I haven't yet.
But like he makes that similar transition. He's a goofball. Right. He's still clearly spiritual, you know? Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting to see how like some people still keep their faith or use it or kind of put it on the shelf.
Right.
Check in with it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I think it's more so like the like when you grow up in like a evangelical culture, like, and I think that I don't know, I don't think it's all bad. Like I think there's a lot of great things that I'm really grateful for.
Totally.
For the church, like that's where I was able to, develop kind of the passion and skill of music and acting and comedy, things like that. I think sometimes if you get just like too deep stuck in just kind of that sort of a mindset, you can just have a view of the world and of people as like us versus them. And I feel like that's just like, I don't know, really not a great kind of mentality. Yeah. And so, I mean, even when you're talking about like, oh yeah, you have all these people who are like so different, it's almost like you're like, oh, you almost like kind of view them as a project rather than just like, just like, hey, I just want to, treat them like a person. And then if a conversation comes up about like, faith or anything like that, I feel like those are the stronger conversations anyways.
And that was 2017. So like, and it was New York City. So it was very,
it's intense, very,
very intense. And I remember thinking like, I don't want to tell anyone what I do. And even even when people ask me like, what did you do? Like before you came out to LA, I say I worked in events production. Yeah. Because we put on events. Yeah. We did. Yeah, it's true. And there were wires and plugs and praying, and worship. But it was all good. Yeah. But yeah, I was worried at the time that like if I say I'm Christian, you're gonna think, well, I hate this group of people. Right. I'm against these choices. I voted for this guy. Right. All these things that may or may not have been true about me, because there was just kind of that feeling.
It's kind of like the guilty by association.
Yeah,
and that's what I hate. Like that's why I feel the same, and that's still like kind of a a struggle. It's like I don't want to be closed off by it. Like I work at a church still. Like I do worship, and it's like it's something I believe, something I'm passionate about. But I also don't really like project it a lot of times because people just have that mindset. Like, I mean, if I have a conversation, I don't want to be like,
like for someone to feel like, oh, I'm gonna like, they sit up taller, or they like stop cussing, or they do just other things. Like, that's why like it was always fun for me to tell people later on, after we go have beers and after we go out and after they hear me joke a lot and be a normal human. Yeah. So then it's like, oh yeah, like I'm a normal human being, and I'm also still that. Yeah. Like right. Faith or whatnot. So yeah, it's an interesting battle, but wild hogs,
wild hogs, and made it all the way to church.
Wild hogs. Wait, so have you seen Ferris Bueller?
Oh yeah, great movie.
So there was a debate today that I started about Marty McFly versus Ferris Bueller. So Marty McFly. But the thing is, like, I grew up those two, those who I wanted to be when I grew up. Right. What a pivot, dude.
That is a pivot. Which one do you want?
Well, I decided that I would walk up to someone at work and I'd ask them, and I would argue the other person every time. I'd be like, well, wait, what about Johnny B. Good? He played Johnny B. Good on stage and saved his destiny. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, well, Marty McFly. Then I'm like, well, the other guy saved his friend from depression. And, like I could argue both, but it's something I'm passionate about.
Yeah. Just out of this one, I haven't watched it yet, but my roommate, he does a movie night every week, and they just watched Mrs. Doubtfire again, and they all were like, it does not hold up at all.
Oh no. I never actually latched onto that one as a kid.
Really?
Did you like that one?
I didn't see it as a kid. I saw it when I was I think right after I graduated from college.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I should go back and watch kind of like these old 80s and 90s movies that I never really like got around to. Like Big, Tom Hanks. That was one of them that I had never seen.
I watched that during the pandemic
and
actually.
I bawled. I was like, this is like, it was so one. Like, I don't know, touching. I feel like they don't really make those like John Hughes type touching movies.
Yeah, I think some of the best movies I've ever seen, I can honestly say, are from my mom saying, Dylan, you would like this movie. And she handed me The Breakfast Club when I was 15, and I went upstairs and I watched it. And I came downstairs and I was like, Mom, that was really good.
Thank you, Mom.
And then she's like, oh, I'm glad you liked it. And then she like shooed me off. And I went upstairs and I watched it again.
In the same day?
In the same night. And then I watched it. I'm not even kidding you. I watched it. It was May. I watched it 30 times in 1 month.
That's impressive.
I would turn it on with subtitles. I would turn it I don't know what happened, and like it was this crazy phenomenon. I'd fold laundry and watch it. I would fall asleep and watch it. I just have it on all the time. There was something about it, and I think this was actually before back to the faith thing. This was before I was in like an intimate small group, and so to see people on a screen from 30 years ago have the same like insecurities,
right,
but also same goofiness that like I have today in 2010 or whenever it was.
Yeah,
I was like dumbfounded by that. That I'm like that,
dude.
These people are just like me.
I can't.
Oh shit!
What just happened?
The battery died. I think we're still going though.
Are we?
Yeah, we are still going.
Oh, sick.
Audio.
Boom.
Switching to audio.
This is for audio only now, so we're taking off our shirts.
My bands are off.
I'm ripping off Phil's head with a chainsaw.
But no, that's Rex.
I don't think I've seen any movie 30 times.
Dude, it was weird. I'm not kidding, and I'm not like being like I've never done that before.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you remember the movie you've seen maybe most in the theater?
Oh gosh, Anchorman 2.
2? Oh.
2. I'm in the minority. I think Anchorman 2 is better than Anchorman 1. I think it's better. Personally.
Not just good.
Not just good. I think it's better. And I'm a huge Anchorman fan, so I'm not saying Anchorman 1 is bad by any means. But something maybe it was the nostalgia piece, and honestly, it was actually maybe partly because I saw a test screening of it. So I saw this like 3-hour version, and I think they actually ended up releasing that version on Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I saw that, and then I saw another pre-screening of it, of like the final cut, and then I saw it again like first week. Then I saw it. I think I saw that one in theaters like 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
And then the movie I've seen the most in my life is probably Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
2 again.
2, yeah. But that was not by choice.
That's like kid wants it on.
Well, no, I did in 2015 or 16. Do you know Charity Water?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know how like Charity Water they used to do all those like campaigns of like if I raise X amount of money, I'll do this. So there was these. Do you know Trip and Tyler?
Yeah.
Guys? Yeah.
Come on.
So they had a.
See, dude. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Great. I mean, they were like Trip and Tyler.
They were Trey Kennedy.
Yeah.
And John
100%.
Chris. Back
They were
then.
like what I aspired to be.
They were Key and Peele.
100%.
The Christian
I was like,
Key and Peele.
Love
really
those
were.
guys so much.
Yeah. So funny.
And they had a Charity Water campaign, and they said if we raise $30,000, we'll do, or I can't remember how much it was. Maybe it was 10,000, but they said if we raise X amount of money, we'll do a 10-hour live stream or something like that. And then you could do like sub campaigns under there. So it's like if you do a campaign, and if you raise money, it helps go to like what they do. And so I did a sub campaign of if I raise $1,000, I will watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 on repeat for 24 hours straight. And the last day, somebody donated. Like I had like $30 like at the beginning, and then like a couple like smaller donations here and there, and then in the last day, somebody donated $1,000. I have a feeling that it was like Trip and Tyler because they just wanted to see like somebody do that or something. I don't know.
Anonymous.
It was anonymous.
Whoa.
So I still don't know to this day who did it.
Who put you through that?
But I was like, okay, here we go. So I set up a live stream, had it on like YouTube, and that was when Periscope was big. So I was streaming on Periscope. And so yeah, I watched it for 24 hours straight in my garage 15 times, and I had seen it once in theater, so seen it 16 times. One thing was fun. Trip and Tyler sent me pizza during it, and then they sent a masseuse.
So you like live streamed with them?
I live streamed like myself, and then I was like tweeting.
Oh, okay.
And then so they would like they messaged me like, what's your address? Send you something, and then Trip said, all right, I just sent you something else. Get ready. And I was like, okay. And so I'm live on Periscope, and then this masseuse comes to my house, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure this out because like I was like, I have to keep watching the movie. Yeah. So I had the movie on my phone, and then the masseuse happens, and I was like, kind of trying like live stream the like Periscope, the massage, and like right as I was reaching down, she's like, okay, put your arms up, and I was like, okay, sorry. It was the most uncomfortable massage I've ever had in my life because I was like so. No, I didn't. Because I couldn't like yeah. She told me like put my arm like right as I was about to like start it, and so I like didn't, and it was too awkward to like. She was like even weirded out by the fact that I was watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, and I felt so bad because I lived in this like I live in a house with 6 other guys, and so the house was disgusting. She's like, okay, yeah, so go ahead, get ready. I'm gonna go wash my hands. You know, and I was like, oh please, like the bathroom is just an absolute mess.
Would you ever watch it again?
The movie,
or is it like?
I mean, what's funny is like I had it on my computer, and like I was on Chrome, and like I had exited out. 6 months later, I opened Chrome, and on a separate tab, like the movie started playing, and like I got like it like actually did something like physically to me where I like felt sick to my stomach.
Where did you almost quit?
Huh?
Did you almost quit? Like
the movie? Oh no! I watched
the
I watched
24 hour.
No,
Like,
I did the whole thing.
there was never a time where like you got close to quitting.
No, I would have never quit. I would have never quit.
But like was there? A
I
point where
wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when did you? Was there like, oh dude, after the 12th viewing, I lost it.
Well,
I guess it's probably an hour and a half long movie.
It just it was
Were you like catching different
131.
references? Were you going like, wait, I think his shirt was this color, this scene?
I would notice like, okay, there's a plot hole. There's like a weird shot or something. Like I would notice some things.
Would you
too.
like you're like on the 8th shot or the 8th time, like, and you say the lines because you know it's coming?
Yep, I did. And like the first 3 was like, all right, here we go, like this is fun, you know. And I had like people like I had like set up the spreadsheet, and like people would like sign up, watch one with me. And so like I had friends come like kind of through the night. I started at like 7 p.m., which was stupid. Like I thought it would be easier to like go and like be like wired kind of like through the night, and then like the day, like with the light, it would have been easier to stay up. But I was just exhausted because I didn't really nap before. And the worst was like the 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. because nobody came. And so I'm there in my garage alone. Like nobody's even on Periscope. Like I even stopped like streaming after a while because like nobody's watching this. Yeah. And then I fell asleep for like 30 minutes. And then like I jolted up to like one of the jokes, or like or like Paul Blart falling down the stairs, like gunshots or something like that. And yeah, it was crazy. I like recorded like testimonials or whatever after each one, how I'm feeling.
Like I'm here, the hour 5.
And I never edited it. And I actually think I have the footage somewhere. It's one thing I'm like, I always should go back and like revisit that and just look at the footage and see.
What's your biggest like? What's hardest about like making content for the internet? Because like for me, I feel like when I think about it too much, or if I don't just do it, it's like the things that I like. Isn't it the worst when you spend so long on something and then like it doesn't
gets like 10 views?
But then the one thing you're like, I'll just throw this up, and then it
blows up.
It goes dumb.
It's especially on like TikTok. Like I don't get how it works. Like my first TikTok that I ever posted had like 250,000 views.
What? That's a lot.
And I literally just shot a Nerf dart into my friend's yogurt, and I just said Nerf is Gert. You know.
Well, that's quality.
Like it was solid. And then I mean, it was funny because I was like, oh man, like I got a high off it. I was like, this is sick. And then I tried to like make other ones, and it didn't. None of the other ones hit. And then I was like, and then I finally like just kind of gave up for a while. And then I was off social media for like a year, and then got back on in the pandemic, and like started to try and make stuff. I think the hardest part for me is consistency.
Yeah, I did. Right after the new year, I said 1 video a day.
Yeah.
For the entire year. And,
oh dang!
And I just broke that streak 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And dude, and honestly, there were the way I would be lazy is I would post a video to Instagram, and then I wouldn't post. Then the next day I'd post it to TikTok, and I'd be like, well, I'm posting one a day.
Yeah,
That's how I'd get around it.
Right.
But it definitely caused me to like, all right, time to get up.
Yep.
Like that helped, but I mean that's what they say is like
There's
thing.
So much consistency.
But it's also like that's what they say. They want us on their apps.
Yeah.
Making people stay on their apps longer, and it's like it's insane. And they're ultimately picking
what's going to blow up,
pushed, and what looks good, and it's just like
the I just recently I was like, all right, I'm gonna do 1 a day for 30 days. Yeah. And just see what happens. And then I think I made it like 17, and then I got super busy. But I did really well. Like my first week, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and shoot 5 today, and I was like on it, and I was like, great, my week is good. And then like you have work, you have other things, and And then sometimes like I'm the type like I don't like to push it if I don't have the inspiration, but at the same time, like a lot of times like you get inspiration by pushing it, so it's kind of like a push and pull kind of a thing where, but I also am like I don't really have a desire to be an influencer,
right?
And I don't really like, I want my stuff to be good to where like something I'm proud of, and I don't want to just try and like follow a trend and like figure out, okay, how do I shoehorn my way into this trend?
Yeah, that is exhausting.
I don't know. It's just it's tough. I mean, it really is like a different like mindset to be able to be like a good influencer. Like I have friends who are like really great at kind of making that type of content, and I'm like, man, you're a hustler and you have like the crazy discipline. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I probably could have that if I really went after it and really tried. Like I might be able to probably find something within that, but it's just not my.
Do you feel like the pressure of, because I'm not an actor, but like, do you feel the pressure of like, I got to be able to do, like, I have to be able to do the internet, and I have to be able to do, like, like a million different things, as opposed to maybe like Robert De Niro was just like, back in the 70s, is like, I just got to memorize these lines, which is he's incredible, but like, cause, it feels like because with what I do with the DBN is like I'm just gonna post what I love and what I think is cool that day and what like getting me excited. Yeah. And I don't have to be in it. I'm just gonna throw it up there. Right. And kind of see what sticks, and that helps. That's actually helped me like stay positive because I think like just coming up with something, going like what made me excited today, and it's like, well, today I saw the theatrical version. Or the theatrical trailer for Back to the Future from 1984, like the ones they played with the goofy narrator. Right. And I just thought,
this summer.
Yeah, exactly. Marty McFly.
Marty McFly is down on his luck.
And he kisses his mom and his dad. How is he going to get back to the future?
That's so good.
And it was like, I was like, dude, this is sick.
Dude, and those old trailers, they used to give away the whole plot.
Yeah, they really did. I was like, wait a second, this whole movie.
Will he overcome his problems? Find out in Back to the Future.
Will Shawshank be redeemed? Like, it was funny, and it was like, it made me go like, damn, dude, would I have seen this movie back in the 80s? Yeah. And I threw it up there, and Reels is such a weird thing too, because it's like, really a couple thousand people saw this. Like I only have 100 followers. How? Yeah. And why are they scrolling past it? Why are they, what's going on? And you'll just like in that dopamine hit. I'm just like, gosh, what's going on? Oh, shit. Yeah. Yes. And then all of a sudden you're like, refreshing.
And then it's like, and then it plateaus. The more I feel like the more I refresh, the more like it plateaus. Like I did one the other day, and within the first 5 minutes, it had like 177 likes, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, is this the first time that something's like going to go like truly, truly viral?" Always the thought. That's what I'm like, man, like
that. I always go like, "Oh shit, wait, like, I don't want this to go viral." Wait, no. Like I'm like, no.
What are all these people going to think if they see? And then of course it doesn't. Like, and I keep refreshing it, and it's like, oh, okay, so it just hit a like. I feel like the more you refresh, like, I don't know if that does something.
I did that today, and I like. Because I did the thing where I posted it and I like went on my own account and I liked it and I viewed it, whatever, and then I went back and I was like refreshing. I'm like, oh, usually it'll kick up at least a little bit here, and I was like, oh, it's not. And then of course I look at it 20 minutes later and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. It's
challenging, and it's exhausting. Like I mean, even working at like a website is like constantly going. I heard Jimmy Kimmel say today, like even writing for Kimmel and pitching jokes and pitching segments, he's like, we just aim to bat 10%. Like we want 10% of our content to be good. Right. And I kind of see that too, where like, we might publish 40 stories, but the common person only heard about one or two of them. Because it's just all day constantly being like, hey, people might think this is crazy. People might think this is crazy. And like that's kind of the game with the internet is like there's always something crazy to be seen, and like it's not going to be you every second.
Totally.
And these apps, like they want it to be populated with people who are energetic and all that stuff.
It's hard to have staying power in, like, that's the thing about like social media and it like creating like viral content, if you will. Like you have to be going every day, because the attention span is so short, even on like massive things. and it's just like, okay, it's forgotten about like the next week. Like I did a short film with Zach King, the First of the Gate for Turkish Airlines, and released it, and then it was like there was like hype for a couple days, and then it was like kind of dead. I'm like, man, that's so interesting how like short, like things are, like viral for. When I feel like when I was like in like middle school and high school, did you ever know stupidvideos.com?
I knew E-Bombs World.
E-Bombs World, yeah. So like sites like that, where it's like you would have to go to that site like kind of pre-YouTube and even beginning of YouTube. Yeah. Like you would go to those sites to rewatch like the same video over and over and over again. And now there's just so much stuff that even like the super viral stuff, like it only stays super viral for a little bit, and then the stuff that was like viral in January feels old and dated now.
And even like beyond viral, like Bo Burnham drops Inside last year, and it's like that was amazing,
unreal. Yeah,
like that was awesome for a month.
So
and
I
do still. I mean, Bo Burnham's my guy. But it's like that's how it works, or it's like Spider-Man: No Way Home was giant. Mm-hmm. It's like now now we're not thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel like Doctor Strange already hit kind of hit its wave.
Did you see Everything Anywhere?
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Dude,
fantastic!
Holy cow, good movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, you kidding me?
Amazing. She was my favorite part about it.
I liked the guy who was
Data
from the Goonies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, he was so good.
Yeah,
he was so.
He was like. There was like so much like heart within his character.
I felt for the first time, I felt that Scorsese in me of like, damn it, Doctor Strange is going to come in and take all these nice screens next weekend, and people aren't going to be able to see this movie. I like legit felt that as like I can't believe this. And
same. And then even like,
because it's such a good movie.
I remember it was like I got to go to theater. I got to go see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent before Doctor Strange comes in, because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to see that in theaters. I loved it. I thought it was so fun. That's probably my favorite of the year.
I watched during the pandemic. I did a lot of I haven't seen this in Raising Arizona with Nick Cage. Yep. He's really good in that. I really like. Nick Cage is great.
National Treasure. I mean,
if we ever got a third one, man, that would mean
it's in development. So, but it's been in development for like 10 years. They're making a show.
What else can they steal?
They're making a show. It's like a
always making a show.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah. I'm like, I never watch shows. Like, I'm really bad at shows. But I am watching Barry.
Okay.
You watch Barry?
I just started Barry about a month and a half ago. I'm on season 2.
How do you like Bill Hader?
I love it.
Yeah,
love him.
And like, I'm sure the actor.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I'm in an acting class, and like I've done the improv class thing, and it's just like this is such a fun world, and like so much of it is so spot on.
Yeah, they were like season 3, like they're just really good at being timely. Like they were like, it's not a spoiler, but it's just like a little chuckle moment of like they're at a press junket, and like they're like promoting this show, and he says, so you're at this show that's about like abuse and yada yada yada. Who do you think should play Spider-Man? And I'm like, dude, the people who did the show like get it.
It's
and
just
like,
good. It's very self-aware in the best way, and it like has like good commentary, and so those are hard to come by.
Did you ever see Love on Netflix?
I never did.
That was another one.
That's Judd Apatow, right?
That is Apatow. You like Apatow?
Love Apatow.
I do too. Funny People is my favorite Adam Sandler.
Real, even above Uncut Gems?
Yeah, that's just a stressful movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely
It's so
not
good.
like I thought it was fun, and I saw it with my friend, and we had a great time. I haven't seen it since. I like Good Time better.
Good Time's fantastic.
Safdie brothers.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good Time to me is if someone's like, yo, I need like a really good intense movie. I'm like, well,
Good
put
Time.
on Good Time.
Yeah.
Because that movie had me locked into a world that was in a style.
Dude, it's just like intense.
That made me go, okay, Pattinson, you can be Batman.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first saw like the ad for Good Time, I was like, probably won't see it because like Robert Pattinson. It was like I just thought of like Twilight, and I just remember like seeing like that first Twilight movie on a bus, like, and I was like, this sucks. I hate this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate everything about it and everyone who's in it. And then I see like Good Time, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good time's great, but no. As far as Adam Sandler goes, it's funny people.
Funny people's good.
I mean, but if I'm going like Adam Sandler comedies, that's probably Billy Madison.
Oh yeah, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. Those were like
Even Mr. Deeds is a good one too.
Dude, I think
that's probably his not talked about enough. Good.
Fantastic. Like, and it has so much heart too.
Yeah, because when people
I think Click is in there. Click's up there for me.
Click's interesting. I think I'd watched that during the pandemic too. I think I took a little gummy too before. It was a crazy watch. But Wedding Singer too is just like it's like making fun of the '80s for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that as a kid. I just thought it was The Wedding Singer. And then
make you smile.
Yeah.
Whenever you say.
Billy Idol in First Class, letting first class passengers do whatever they want. Yeah, like I think, were you ever into SNL?
Oh yeah,
still.
I go back and forth because I feel like they have like one good episode and then the next episode's awful. Like right now, it's so inconsistent.
That's true.
To where I felt like in the 2010s, like early 2010s, I felt like every episode was a hit.
Yeah, that makes me nervous because I'm like, that's what they said 10 years ago too.
Right.
You know? Like when the Hater Cast came on, they're like, well, back when we had Spade and Farley,
right.
That's when it was really good.
Totally.
And like now we're like, well, we miss Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader and Fred Armisen. Those are the people. And it's like, and I watch some of them, and there are definitely a few cast members that I'm like, fall in love with them. Just do it, Dylan. You love them. They're awesome. You love them. And then, it is inconsistent, I'd say too. And I think their cold opens just haven't been good for the last, like 3 or 4 years. Well, and that's why people are like, it's not good. And I'm like, there are really great sketches.
Fantastic sketches.
Like I remember there was a Jason Momoa episode that was sneaky, really good. But the cold open was like the most like Trump musical type thing.
With the issues that like it's getting like they do with the political stuff every single week. And it's like we get it. Like we know that like all these people suck. Like we've lived it. Like we want to watch like for a like we want to forget about that. Like talk about it in a weekend update. Like do it there, but just like give us like character. There's not as many like characters.
I agree.
You know, I will say James Austin Johnson, his Biden and Trump impressions, top notch. I think he's probably my like favorite of the new cast members.
Yeah, I've always loved Kyle Mooney, but he's now kind of been there a long time, so he's a mix because he was there with like Beck Bennett.
And I'm so sad Beck Bennett
was great. I mean, I think I'd put Kate McKinnon over Kristen Wiig personally as a like if you really go and you probably have to really break down body of work.
That's fair.
I think they're the same category. I think they are the same person, and I'm only doing that because it's what you do. You
right. I think Kristen Wiig had better characters.
Yeah, probably more memorable.
Penelope, Target. Welcome to Target. Target lady was my favorite.
Yeah.
And like some of Kate. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kate McKinnon is a freaking genius. But like I think some of her characters, like I feel like are really funny for like two times, but then it just becomes like too repetitive.
I see that. And she has lived in this political era where she has played Rudy Giuliani a bunch of times and Hillary Clinton and all that stuff. But what about like late night guys? Or late night like even as far as like John Oliver or even Colbert?
Yeah, I think Conan.
Because to me, like late night is where I've always thought like that's what I love.
Yeah, Conan I think is a goat.
Yeah,
personally. I used to really love Kimmel. I mean I still think he's like really good. I just think the issue is like they all like have just gotten so. I am just so over everything politics on either side. Like,
isn't it funny though too that like when like Fallon took a hit because he didn't go political and everyone's like, you know, he's still being a goofball while this president's doing this and that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, my buddy pulled up a lip sync challenge from Jimmy Fallon. I'm like, they haven't done that.
Right.
It was the Joseph Gordon-Levitt one from like 2013.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, these went dumb whenever they posted these.
Well, and then they like made a show out of it and stuff. But I miss like the
even
just
thank you
give
notes.
us like thank you notes. Give us something silly. I loved Fallon and I still do. I think Fallon is one of the like I really like him because I feel like he is very genuine. And I feel like it's just like he's friends with everybody.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like sometimes it's like it feels a little like forced and old, but I Like when he starts laughing, I just like I don't know, it does something. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
he's good. He's good.
But yeah,
Yeah, because Colbert. I've been really listening to
Colbert, I like.
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern is like killing it.
Dude, it was so weird. I bought my tickets to everything, anything, everywhere, whatever. And it was like, thank you for buying your tickets. Would you like 4 months free of Sirius? And I was like, 4
Really?
months? I'm like, this is dumb. And so I did it, and I literally did. I canceled it right then and there.
Yep.
And they're like, well, this will be done in August.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And I've been doing Howard Stern interviews.
Howard Stern.
Let me tell you something real quick.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
He's got such an interesting.
He's dude, but he like because like working at TMZ, I feel like I have to know not only pop culture inside and out right now, but also like 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And watching old Howard or even listening to Howard, he is like a historian almost of it.
Yeah.
Because he's been through it and talked every day of it, for the last however many years, and they're just epic interviews. I was like watching like Seth Rogen promoting Sausage Party in 2016, but the interview was so good, and I'm like learning so much about Howard and Seth, and like
he just asks such great questions. Like he's a great interviewer.
But like I'm also like I would be so scared to go on his shows because he'll go, so your father, did he make you take that role because it felt like I saw your father hurt you? And you're just like, what, dude, Howard?
Wow.
He's like, do you feel like having sex more in life? Make it. I'm like, oh, dude, what are you doing?
What?
But it's also like that's like the good opposite side of the foul.
Yeah.
Like you can get your fun here, you can get your like kind of deep podcasty type stuff with Howard. But
it goes nothing's off limits.
Yeah,
for him.
It's pretty nuts. So, well, dude, we've been doing this for a while. It's been fun.
Wild Hogs, what's the rating?
Wild Hogs, I think I gave it a 2. I might
give
1.5, 2 out of 5.
Okay, on Letterboxd.
Letterboxd.
Yep.
Let me pull that up.
I haven't been on Letterboxd for years.
You haven't?
No, I need to go and update.
Dude, I keep a film journal.
I got so overwhelmed because I was like, when I first downloaded it, I spent like hours like going in, like scene rate,
Yeah, I gave it 2 stars. Wild Hogs. I gave it a heart though.
Yeah, heart.
Dude, wow! Look at Letterboxd. Letterboxd honestly is my litmus test. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes necessarily.
Yeah, not anymore.
And dude, there was one review for this on Rotten Tomatoes that was literally it just said no.
And that's it.
Which I'm like, that's hilarious, but I'm also like, you're a certified critic, sir.
Yeah.
And I go on Letterboxd because these are people who take movies seriously.
Oh my
gosh. If you're on Letterboxd, you are not messing around.
I have a friend who he goes on and he will
I have the premium.
Like go crazy. Oh, you do? Yeah. I mean, he like review like he had like a 10-page review on he had a 10-page review on Soaring Over the World at Disneyland, like, and how Soaring Over California is so much better.
Oh my god.
It's very funny. But yeah, there's just a lot of craziness on there. It's good.
Well, 2 stars.
2 stars. I'd give it 2.5. 2.5, and I'm giving the half for like the nostalgia trip and like just being like, oh, okay. I just remember like took me back to like when I was like 14, 15, and just the pure joy of being able to go and see a comedy movie in theaters. I just thought of a bunch of like Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, yeah.
I've never seen that one in theaters.
Recently.
That one holds up.
Holds up
for sure.
And that makes you go like, wait, dude, Ben Stiller was an amazing character actor. Like we
meet the parents, meet the Fockers, little Fockers.
I did. I remember during the pandemic, I had realized, and it was from watching Dodgeball, that Ben Stiller and Paul Rudd could be the same person. Just simply that they're short, handsome men who sometimes are absolutely bonkers and sometimes the most charming human being you've ever seen.
Yeah, and they can both be really funny and really serious.
Yeah, and they like, and I think I did a DVN episode on it. No, I definitely did. I don't think I did. I definitely did. But it's the nostalgia thing is like weird to like tap into. I watch Malcolm in the Middle whenever I need nostalgia because that was a show I grew up watching. I refuse to watch Breaking Bad because I'm afraid
really
Malcolm in the Middle will not be Bryan Cranston's best show, because to me to me Bryan Cranston is the father from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hal.
That's fair.
But yeah, dude, always tapping in nostalgia. Yeah, 2 stars. doesn't hold up, but
Yeah, but kind of does.
kind of does. Worth it
Culturally, definitely, definitely
if
not.
hearing Wild Hogs triggers you, and you go back and watch it, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
because that means you have a relationship with
yeah,
Wild Hogs.
of course.
There's
There's some like slapping the bowl.
slapping
The bowl.
Man,
you
those
know?
like those twins too.
Those
were comedy guys.
Those
back
guys
in the day.
super funny.
Yeah, whatever happened to them?
I don't know, because I felt like that was like one of their like that was like a big deal, I think, for them.
And also, Marissa Tomei hasn't aged.
No,
Has
she
not
is gorgeous.
She is gorgeous then, now, like, and looks so similar.
What do they do?
William H. Macy, same too. He's just as gorgeous as he was.
William
back
H.
then, too.
Macy.
Yeah. Well, Wild Hogs. Anything else?
No, we just want to say thank you to today's sponsor,
Oh my.
which is
Casper Mattress.
Casper Mattress. If you use the code Wild Hogs, you'll get 10% off your order over 1,000.
You know, JJ, I got my Casper Mattress last week. Testimonial.
Yeah.
It came in a box, right?
Right.
And you think, what's this box gonna do for me?
And the crazy part is you open the box and then it just unfolds. And it's so crazy. And you would not think that something that comes in a box that's so tightly wrapped up could be as comfortable as a Casper mattress.
Yeah. When I was laying on my Casper mattress, it blew my mind that for 30 days it was risk-free.
Risk-free.
30 days.
And the thing is, if you don't like it, you can send it back. They will bring a crew to your house. Take it out of your house.
Casper Mattress.
Give you your
the
money
Casper
back.
Mattress
The
people.
Casper Mattress people.
They'll send Casper Mattress men
They will.
or women.
And they'll give you 2 free pillows if you buy today. And the pillows, I gotta say, those pillows are the
They're
most comfortable.
Casper Mattress pillows.
I'm a side sleeper.
You are a side
Okay,
sleeper?
I'm a side sleeper.
What
I gotta
side
have a
of
good-
your Casper mattress do you sleep on?
I sleep on the right side.
All I know is when I sleep on my Casper mattress, I sleep amazing, and mostly because it just safely got to me.
Yeah, right. And I mean, when I wake up on a Casper mattress, I'm like, I'm ready for the day. I'm ready to go make content. I'm ready to watch Wild Hogs.
Do you think these ad people like really want to get rid of that 15-second? Like, because do you skip past ads?
Always.
Yeah, Conan's pretty bad with his ads.
Yeah.
I love his podcast,
Yeah.
but his ads, I'm just like, dude, it's not.
Yeah, it's like,
because he's doing bits, and I'm
Yeah.
like, these are funny. Let me get to the interview.
I mean, it's like I appreciate when they try and do the bits, because then it's like, okay, am I gonna miss something here?
Dude, and these companies are probably loving that we're making bits out
Yeah.
of there. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, what
Yeah.
good tough stuff.
Thanks for the free advertising. Casper Mattress, call us.
Well, JJ, thanks for coming on, dude.
Thanks for
coming
having
all
me.
the way to Marina Del Rey.
Absolutely.
Was it quite a drive? Oh, we forgot
40
to talk about your drive over.
40
That's usually
yeah,
what you
that's
do in
usually the
California.
start.
How did you get here?
Yeah, drove 40 minutes.
Did you take
44?
the 110?
Took the 110 down to the 405, then off at Culver,
or 90 West,
Sawtell,
yeah.
something like that. I don't know.
Well, glad you're here. Glad we
101.
could do
It's on
this.
the 101, of course.
Glad you're not claustrophobic. See
No.
how did you feel it's kind of comfortable?
Yeah, it is.
Like it's.
I mean, once you're sitting, it's fine. But yeah, if I had to crouch in this thing, that would suck.
Yeah, I was gonna have us
6'3".
just squat the whole time.
Yeah, I don't have that great a leg strength.
All right. Well, thank you, JJ, and
course.
thank you to the listeners. We'll be back. We'll charge up the camera. I guess.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh, and then we got Tuck Survivor. We forgot that.
Oh my gosh, we do. It's on tonight. It's on right now.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, I mean, Survivor. It's a good season. I
Yeah.
think we only stumbled a bit on that one tribal.
Yep.
I went from why are we giant shaming Jonathan to Jonathan, why are you talking and being aggressive now?
Yeah.
I actually think as they've had some rocky few seasons. I don't know how you've been following pretty well.
Oh yeah.
The few seasons have had some. There's just been rocky seasons,
not
I'd
good.
say. And this feels. It's felt
I'm a
from the
fan.
beginning
I'm
like
a fan.
really good season.
I'm a fan.
And I'm rewatching Survivor 14 right now, Fiji.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's a good one to watch alongside it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like it.
Solid.
If we get more Jeff in the Rain tribal councils,
Right.
we're
Who
set.
are you rooting for?
I think I won't tell you. I'll tell you who's gonna win
Okay.
if you want to know.
Yeah.
I think Lindsay's gonna sneak her way to the end.
You think Lindsay's gonna?
Well,
okay.
I noticed
Yeah.
actually the way
I hope not, but
I think
see it.
I see her in the end, in the final 3.
yeah.
Don't know if she wins, but she could now string together some wins. I always
Mhm.
hate the final tribals when they never mention how many challenges they win and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Final tribals is the best and worst
Yep.
because it's like, this is your time, and how many they probably kick themselves because
Mhm.
they're like,
Yeah.
And but I think Lindsay, Omer could also win.
Yeah. I'm Omer and Jonathan are my top.
Yeah. I'd
top
still
2.
like Jonathan. I mean, I'd like. Yeah.
I think Jonathan is like just very deserving. Just at how like from the
Everything he's
playing the
done.
game, I feel like
Correct.
is so.
Dude, Omer pulling that thing.
That was good.
Dude, we haven't seen that type of Survivor in a while.
Like I think his
that was
his like
dirty.
and I like Mike a lot too.
Mike's he's got an accent.
Yeah.
He's a firefighter.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what you
I'm a
need.
firefighter.
Firefighter.
I'm a firefighter.
I live by a code.
Yeah.
I live by. It's all. I always live. I live. When you're at the firehouse, you joke is what you do.
But you know what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win this game.
You could also. They probably cut it out. He probably says, when you're at the firehouse, you say something like that, we smack you in the head. It's like, Mike, you can't say that.
Okay, all right, fine. I'm just telling you what
I'm
we
from
do in
New
our
Jersey.
life.
What do you
I'm from
expect
Jersey.
from me?
Come on.
Come on.
Oh man.
Mike's cool, dude. It's a good. There's not many like unlikable people. How have you felt? What's her name?
Marianne.
It's been a
it's a roller coaster.
At first it was so cute.
At the first I was
sweet.
like, oh my gosh, like she's so like
Yeah.
she's so. I actually I could see a Marianne win.
Yeah,
Crazy enough.
and I feel like if
there's
she wins, it will be epic.
I think there's a stretch, but I think she's got a path there. The issue, I think it'll time will tell if she tells anybody about her idol.
Oh, yes.
If she keeps that mum's word, I think she's got a good chance of at least doing final 3.
Yeah.
But there was like beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, she's kind of sweet, and then there was like just I think the one what was the guy that had to or who was it? No, somebody had to leave.
Oh yes.
For some reason, and I just remember. Like just and I was like, wow, that is like it was so sudden and so intense.
Yeah.
And then like she's just been like I don't know. Like some of it I'm like, what are you doing? But then it's also kind of like endearing. Like it was annoying for a bit, and it was like endearing because I'm like, okay, she actually is kind of genuine, like, and she's just out there kind of having fun.
Yeah.
So I go.
Well,
it comes in waves.
And Boston Rob tweeted, he was like, dude, how come people don't shut up in Survivor?
Yeah.
And it's a good point,
Right?
but also like I do think the 50 advantages that are in play right now.
Oh my gosh.
They are confusing, and they do take other people have to know about this.
Yeah.
Because I have to say, bananas are
Yeah.
fruit or whatever, potatoes are fruit or whatever they were saying. Which I thought was if I was a producer and someone told me that idea, I'd be like, dude, that is hilarious. That's awesome. That's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that they'll bring that back.
I don't think so. I think they can't now. It was kind of like a.
the triad idol where it's like a steal a vote and then it's not.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's just.
What do you think of Shot in the Dark?
We haven't seen it work yet.
Yeah.
Right? But not Shot in the Dark. The other one they did last week.
Oh,
Do or
the
Die.
I don't like Do or Die. I think that's lame.
And they've gotten lucky that no one's gotten out.
Yeah.
Because dude, I don't think they'll bring that back.
No, I just think that one's like so.
It is interesting of the like, hey, if you play, this could happen.
Yeah,
but it's like everyone feels safe at that point.
Right.
That's
why I was so glad that Jonathan won, and he needed it because he would have been out.
Dude, and that was another one where it's like you'd think a smaller person would have benefited with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good season. I always get like it's from this point on is when it becomes less satisfying because the best player usually gets out at around 5-6.
Yep.
And then you get the people who just kind of sneak their way in. You get some shields.
I liked both Drea and Tori too, and I'm bummed that that they're both gone.
I thought Roxroy was gonna win because when he went to the island by himself, they had this epic like shot of him on the mountain. I was like, I think
are they setting him up? Yeah.
I was like, this feels like this would be the thing they point.
Well, and also too because the turn back time challenge, which I think that's the dumbest. I hope they get rid of that.
Did you like Extinction, the where you get voted out but
yes,
you're still alive?
I do. I did like that a lot. I actually loved Reem. You remember Reem?
Reem?
Oh, come on, dude. Like,
Yes,
for the first-
my favorite was the shoot of all time, the Weatherman from a few years ago.
Oh yeah, Devins.
Yes, Rick Devins.
Yeah.
And he snuck back in and he was like smiling.
Yeah, it was
like,
funny. Like I could not stand him in the beginning because I was
Yeah.
like, gosh, this guy's so annoying. And then at the end, I was like, okay, I love him. He's like a dang good player.
And he seemed like they'll bring him back eventually.
Mhm.
I feel like we could do one more season though of not non-returning people. Then
Yeah.
we can start to
Yeah.
come back.
Yep.
But if they bring back a couple,
I would like to see. I don't think it would ever work. I feel like it would be somewhat compelling, but I don't think they would be like, no, it would never go for this. But like first one out, bring back a season where it's all people who were voted
my
out
gosh.
first. Kind of like second chances, but
Yeah.
like second chances for the people who were voted first. And then
Yeah.
it's like the person who gets voted off first for that, like, is just
Yeah.
that sucks for them. But I feel like it'd be a really interesting season.
Yeah, it's funny watching, and it's like I'm watching the 2007 one,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, dude, these people are on Cameo, even like.
Oh, yeah.
these are absolutely no one. The winner of this season was not invited to Winners Award,
Mhm.
didn't go,
Yeah.
so they're not anything relevant, and they weren't like Survivor names that I know. And yeah, it's just kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a girl in our office who did an Amazing Race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, out first time. Out.
Wow.
She was one of the first ones out in the
Dang.
Amazing Race. But yeah, Survivor. I would do it.
You would? Have you ever played?
No,
Yeah.
you said you had.
I've played twice. Yeah.
It seems like they're pushing a lot more. Maybe I'm just seeing it. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
feeling something. Here.
They are. Well, I feel like they got a new casting director, I believe, a couple of years ago, and I think it's one of the people. I could be wrong. But like some of the same people who did Big Brother,
Yeah.
and so.
Oh yeah, they're definitely the same crew team, I believe.
Yeah, and I think that there's like a. I don't know. Well, I think with social media too, they're just like they're pushing it out more. You know.
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot. It's gotta be a lot harder to get on.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh yeah.
it's a diverse cast. You get one of everybody, so
Yep.
that means you got to be that one.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We can reconnect on Survivor too as it comes down.
Real quick, what do you think of the winner last season, Erica?
Did not think Erica should have won. I thought it should have been
Xander.
Xander. Oh,
Yep.
million times Xander.
Uh-huh.
Xander was what did the advantage of like if I asked for your idol,
Yeah.
he was a sneaky one too
Yep.
of being like, I get it.
I loved that moment. That
That
was
was huge.
that
Dude.
was
It gives me
epic.
chills. Even when they pulled it off in this one too,
Uh-huh.
I was like, cool. But that's another advantage.
Yep.
We haven't seen it
Yep.
work out.
Yep.
And dude, I'd be pissed.
Well, it's because people are telling. Like,
Yeah.
if they would keep that one to themselves, they would like.
And dude, it's smart. I actually think I'd be an absolute liar out there. I think
yeah.
I'd go full Tony. Like
Oh my gosh, you have to.
like I would, yeah. Or yeah, lay low until you get to the merge
Like
and
a
just be
Sandra.
likable and be wanting to be kept around.
As long as it's anybody but me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I was very because I thought that Erica should have been out even before the do or die or like the turn back time thing, and the fact that she did that and then ended up winning, I was like, that was the only move that she made in my opinion.
Yeah, which was
Like, I felt like it was just such a stretch. It's like, well, I'm looked as young and this, and so that's why you should have me win because I did something. I don't know. I just felt like
It is funny,
it was
too.
not compelling.
watching the old ones. Like, what's the name? Oh man, why am I blanking? Sandra.
Yeah.
She, I watched her season, and she was literally Final Tribal was like, "Hey, I have kids. Like,
Mhm.
this is why I should get the million.
Yeah.
Like, I need the money.
Yeah.
And people gave it to the person who they liked more. It really was Tony's season and Spencer who came back. Spencer goes, guys, you're all so mad at Tony right now, but he won.
Yep.
He is the survivor.
And I loved Spencer too.
He outwitted, and yeah, Spencer should have won. I was like, no,
Yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
I
then
was like,
Aubrey on the season where Michelle won,
yeah, Aubrey,
or
when
Ty.
yeah.
And either one of them.
Joe is another guy who hasn't won, but he's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, Joe's great.
Joe's he's a crowd
Malcolm,
favorite. Malcolm's awesome.
Ozzy.
Ozzy, yeah. I want Rick Devens back. Christian from the
Oh my gosh, so fun to watch.
that's if people are like, what I want to watch Survivor, I tell them go to
Yeah.
what is that? Brains. No,
Brains Braun. No, that's not Brains Braun Broody. No,
it's not like Geeks and. It's the guy with the wrestler. It's literally like Brains versus Braun.
Is it Brains Braun Beauty? Was it that one?
No, it wasn't 3. It wasn't Gen X or
White collar, blue collar. No.
I have it here.
Gosh, I love the way that like all of his like testimonials like it would like slowly like fade out and then fade back in and just like
won a challenge by just talking.
Yeah, for 3 hours.
Oh, was it? Oh, David versus Goliath.
David versus Goliath.
Yes.
Oh my, that was a great season.
I like Nick too.
Great season.
I liked Nick in Winners at War too, and he got pretty far.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one I think with the guy from School of Rock too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
Schneebly.
Angela, who like the ladder, and
Yeah.
Survivor. I'm glad people still like it.
Yeah.
It's always fun to hear that people are back into it. And the pandemic got me back too.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I think that show will always have like, I don't know. I think it will always be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
You know,
even as it's evolved, like
even the
people have watched it and it changed, and then the producers had to change.
Yeah, even though I hated last season, I still loved watching it.
Yeah,
hated last season, still loved watching it. And then what's the worst season? The one with gosh, it was like 3 seasons ago, or maybe it was 4 seasons ago now.
Was it Edge of Extinction where Chris came back from Extinction 1 after being on Extinction like the whole time? That one kind of sucked.
That was the one with Dan, right?
Yeah.
The creepy.
Oh no, that one was bad.
That one.
That was the one where the school teacher, the redhead dude, won.
Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah, I didn't love that season.
Yeah.
The Island of the Idols.
Island of the Idols. I hated that one, and that was like with Robin Sanders, where I was like, this like the giant totems. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah,
this is so stupid.
Yeah, they've tried things. Extinction's been their coolest thing they've tried.
Redemption Island's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I think
when they get voted out and they have to like battle it out.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that was. I'm pretty sure that's one Boston Rob won.
Rob won one of those.
And I just thought that one was so. Russell, gosh, I wish they'd bring Russell back, but
Russell, I haven't gotten into his yet, and I'm
really?
about to.
Oh.
I have a buddy who is like a Survivor encyclopedia, and I can text him what episode I'm on, and he will drop the funniest line from that.
Of course.
Yeah. It's forever a great show, and it's like stood up. It's held up. Like you can't really watch the first few Survivors; those are pretty bad.
Yeah,
where they're like in Africa and they're like, "This mud is your water."
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, Survivor,
Wild Hogs,
Survivor, comedy, faith. That's the works. Subscribe.
Hit that like button, smash it.
We're chasing. Thanks, JJ, for coming on, dude.
Thanks for having me.